Melissa Gilbert, famous for her role as Laura Ingalls Wilder, aka Half-Pint, on Little House on the Prairie, has dealt with a difficult history of health issues. To the praise and support of her fans, Gilbert has been opening up recently about her physical adversities and her recovery following a life-altering spinal surgery. Stay tuned as we take a closer look at the health issues which have been plaguing this actress for over a decade. Life after the Prairie. Renowned for her role as Half-Pint on the iconic American show Little House on the Prairie, Melissa Gilbert has moved on from the show to do incredibly well for herself. Gilbert had a stint on Broadway and most notably became president of the Screen Actors Guild, a position she held for 4 years. Melissa was born to a newlywed couple who put her up for adoption as they were unable to handle the pressures of raising a child. She was adopted by American film and TV actor Paul Gilbert and his wife, Barbara Crane. With her adoptive parents both entertainers, Melissa learned about the inner workings of the industry at an early age. This led to her growing up in front of the camera, which Melissa has stated made her life more open to the public than she would have preferred. She's the mother of 2 biological children and has adopted a further 3. Melissa is not new to injuries. The Little House on the Prairie star has dealt with her fair share of serious injuries that have required major surgeries. She had her first spinal fusion surgery in her neck in 2001. She then had a second spinal surgery after breaking her back in 2010. 2 herniated discs in her spine, which were caused by head and neck injuries in 2012, led to her third surgery. One of these injuries was sustained during her participation on Dancing with the Stars. She suffered whiplash and a concussion that resulted from a fall while performing. But the third surgery wasn't as successful as everyone hoped. It didn't fuse, which caused a lot of serious pain for the star. She was informed that the hardware from the surgery was boring holes into her vertebra above and below. The drama and injuries continued when, a few months later, the balcony of a house she was renting collapsed on her. Melissa's been dealing with spinal issues ever since. Hey, if you're enjoying this video so far, make sure you give it a like and subscribe to Factsverse if you haven't already. And stick around for a lot more about Melissa's injuries. When did Melissa's head hit the floor on Dancing with the Stars? When Melissa Gilbert competed on the 2012 season of Dancing with the Stars, the actress suffered a mysterious injury. The spectators and the audience at home were unclear what happened. Gilbert was quick to update her fans via Twitter, where she revealed she suffered a concussion and whiplash during her dance performance that night. But people were quick to question what happened. Just when the injury actually occurred became the subject of intense debate. Gilbert's rep revealed to Access Hollywood that the injury occurred when she hit her head on the ballroom floor. This was also confirmed by several of Gilbert's Dancing with the Stars co-stars. Actress and comedian Sherry Shepherd explained to Us Weekly she hit her head during her dance and then after she felt a little dizzy, so they took her to the hospital to get checked out and make sure she was okay. American singer Gavin DeGraw also noted Gilbert had hit the back of her head and assumed she may have hit her head on the floor at some point during the dance. But according to some eagle-eyed viewers, the debate came down to whether the incident actually happened at all. Gilbert's dance partner, Maxim Shmerkovsky, who's also a Latin ballroom dance champion, choreographer, and instructor, took a tumble during the Paso Doble routine. However, some viewers claim there's no moment from the night's dance that clearly shows Gilbert's head hitting the floor. But Today.com contributor Linda Carroll, co-author of The Concussion Crisis, Anatomy of a Silent Epidemic, stepped in to clear things up. She informed the media that it's possible to get a concussion without even hitting your head. An analogy she uses is that a person's brain is like a passenger in a car riding without a seatbelt. The car slams to a stop and the passenger slams into the windshield. Similarly, if a person is tackled in football and suddenly comes to a stop, their brain keeps moving and can slam into the skull. Carol says she watched the episode wondering which move could have caused the concussion. Despite being unable to see a possible moment of impact, it wasn't hard to see how she could have sustained an injury after giving such a tremendous performance. Especially given her history of spinal injuries and the snapping moves in the performance, the pain and possible injuries she sustained aren't hard to explain. Gilbert drops out of Congress race due to spinal injury. In 2016, Gilbert was unable to continue in her race for a congressional seat in Michigan due to the pain and injuries over the years, particularly those sustained in 2012. It was beginning to take its toll on Gilbert's body. On May 24th of that year, she made her announcement, stating that even with the best possible treatment and therapy she could have asked for, the injuries had only gotten worse. It broke her heart, but it was her doctors who told her she wasn't physically able to continue her run for Congress. The former child star had decided to run as a Democrat in August 2015. She was vocal about her goals to make life easier for all the families who felt that they had fallen through the cracks in today's economy. She promised voters she would fight to increase income for working families, ensure companies provided paid sick and family leave to workers, and give every child access to state-of-the-art education. She also ensured women would receive equal pay for equal work. Melissa shares updates on her life-altering fourth spinal surgery. With the failure of her third surgery and ongoing pain, Gilbert had her fourth spinal surgery in 2020. She decided to go with Dr. Robert Bray, the doctor who did her first spinal surgery. This procedure took place at Disc Sports and Spine Center in Newport Beach. Gilbert went into detail on her most recent surgery, stating that the biggest difference was that Dr. Bray went in and took out a lot of the hardware, particularly the hardware that didn't work. She got an artificial disc, which is very cutting edge. Although it's been around a while, it is new and revolutionary. Gilbert explained that it's now set her up so she'll hopefully have no more spinal problems. The actress claimed she was channeling her famous Little House on the Prairie character Half-Pint's strength during her fourth surgery. Almost 3 weeks post-surgery, Gilbert announced she was feeling good. Despite the dramatic nature of the surgery, it was the precautions she took to fly to California that were the most exaggerated. Since the surgery took place during COVID, extra precautions were inevitable. She had to be tested negative to get on the plane, then tested negative before the surgery. This was followed by the biggest part of all, the surgery itself, which was followed by another test to make sure she was still negative. Gilbert detailed she wore a mask, face shield, gloves, and was so careful throughout the whole trip. Having spoken out about her injuries and this most recent surgery, Gilbert has received great support from her fans, which has really moved her. Is all the people who are suffering from similar issues and chronic pain issues and spine issues who say, "I'm glad to hear your story, it gives me hope." Gilbert claims this has been a real driver for her and made the entire process that much more incredible. The actress is grateful for her health, especially now that her family is growing and she's a grandma. Are you inspired by how Melissa's overcome such adversity? Have you dealt with similar health issues yourself? Let us know in the comments section below. And don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to Facts First for more. Click the bell icon to stay updated on all our latest content.